Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group. This is March the 8th, and we welcome you all. We are a group of vendors who are here to help each other grow our businesses, and we are here to also to help any restaurant owner, manager, or chef who has a question or a problem that they'd like to bring to us. We'd be happy to help you solve it. So give us, if you want to attend the meeting as a vendor or as a restaurant, give us a call at 561-620-8888. Go to our website at trnusa.com and go to our YouTube channel at Today's Restaurant to see some of the past meetings. We've got over 300 videos on our channel. So subscribe to it so you'll get notified when a new video goes up, and put a like in there too. Today we have Brian Auiebach, who's going to be presenting his company, and we'll get to you in a couple of minutes. I just want to introduce two new faces on the board this morning. Nice to see you back, Baha. And Julian, where'd you go? There he is. Okay, Julian, say hello, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, nice to meet all of you. Some I know from before. I've been in the industry of the restaurant business in hospitality uniforms since the year 2000. Worked basically the whole of the East Coast, but done a lot of West Coast and Central American work. Worked for a premium uniform company for about 18 years. I won't mention the name because they're no longer in business. And when COVID came, they shut the company down. I was laid off and started on my own with all my existing contact base and customers. So I do two products right now. First product is hospitality uniforms, front of house, back of house, for pool, wherever they need it in any of hospitality's regions or areas. I also do a specific cleaning system, a tank. It's called FOG, short for fat, oil, and grease. And if any of you stepped into the back of a kitchen, you'll know that the pots, pans, sheet pans, and all the kitchen utensils get a black carbon that burns on over time of use, and it's impossible to clean off. So the company I represent for that have a green-friendly chemical and a tank that's supplied. You drop your product in, just soak it, no scrubbing or cleaning at all, take it out, rinse, it comes out sanitized and ready to use. It's a miracle, amazing product. That's in a nutshell what I do. And of course, I take abuse from people like Howard every day of my life, and I get on with things.
How do we reach you?
I can give you the information. Do I do that here in public?
Yeah, just give us your phone. Give us your phone number.
561-997-9855, and I operate out of Delray Beach, Florida.
All right, do me a favor, Julian. Just send me an email with your new company name and all the contact information so that I can put it onto the spreadsheet.
Good. The company's name is Chef Sourcing International, short CSI, and been in business with that for 2 years.
Okay, thanks. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet all of you, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
And
nice to meet you.
Our other new face on the board this morning is Carmine Provenzano. I got that right,
Nicely done.
That's
Nicely done,
my New York came out. And
good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Tell us who you are, what you do, and
right. So I did meet Howard at the show in November, which was, I thought, kind of lightly attended, Howard. So I'm happy to hear that we're expecting a bigger attendance next time. Our company, Safe Kitchen VR, creates VR safety training modules for the worker. So as you all know, there's plenty of content available for food safety and safe food handling. And we will also have a module or two dedicated to that to complement the ServSafe and FDA content. but mostly our focus is on the main injuries that occur in the food service industry for the worker. The VR is deployed on a headset, untethered, can be used anywhere in the world. You don't need Wi-Fi unless you want to implement the AI feature. So one of the modules is a coffee shop safety module for, the whole experience of working in a coffee shop and interacting with clients. So there is some AI involved in that for de-escalation and client interaction, but the rest of it is just software that's on the headset that you can use anywhere at any time. We'll have a general library of about 5 or 6 modules that cover pretty much all the safety hazards that are mainly addressed by those agencies. But then we also focus on some additional feedback from subject matter experts. We are partnering with Florida Technical College, their culinary arts program. So if you check out our website at skvr.io and you see any chefs or pictures of kitchens, that's their environment. Our use cases currently, clients that we have waiting for the finished product are insurance underwriters. The 3rd largest insurance underwriter in the country I'm currently working with to customize an internal certification for their clients. A large university in the Northeast that has 450 employees for their dining halls. We're going to train them, and they're issuing their own certification as well. And then the 3rd one would be actually the culinary arts school. So culinary arts programs or hospitality programs that have coursework in their diploma programs. Most of them have safety and hygiene, and they'll kind of add this in there. It's very interesting content. It keeps everybody engaged. It's gamified. It's also castable on a large screen TV so that it's not just the user that's engaged at the time. And we create digital twins also for any environment, whether it's equipment, and we can do custom training content for special pieces of equipment or franchise.
Where are you located?
Meisner Park.
Okay.
Yeah, right over the bowling alley.
Maybe at some point in the future we'll have you do a presentation for the group.
Sure, yeah.
And then
that would be great.
And show us a little bit of the equipment and what you actually do.
Absolutely. So that's us, Safe Kitchen VR. Both names work, safekitchenvr.com and skvr.io. If you want to look at the website.
Yeah, I'll include that in the spreadsheet that goes out today, and everybody take a look at that. That's pretty interesting. So I'm going to ask everybody to do their intros as well today, and then I'll double back to you and Julian, and then we have Brian, who's going to be presenting today. And if we get through that and we have some extra time, I've got some people who've written some, I guess you call it a plea for help. So, Brian, why don't you start us off? I'm Brian Josselson.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate let me go first because I got to leave here in a little bit. I got something.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Came up. I'm Brian with Rogue Financial Group. We are a commercial financing company. We finance from small projects, large projects. Again, I do a lot in the convenience store side. I do a lot in the hospitality, the brewery side. I do work all over the country. I will do startups. And again, we are a commercial equipment financing company. And most of mine are somewhere between 50 to 250,000 projects financing. And I do have a program for some challenge credit people, but they have to meet certain criteria. And again, I'm Brian with Rogue Financial Group. I can be reached at 404-723-7222. Thanks. And again, real quick for Carmine, before I leave, there is a culinary school in Myrtle Beach I stumbled across. So there's a
right.
Yeah. again.
Okay, that's great to know. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Chris, good morning.
Oh, so I have to follow Brian.
You have to file, Brian.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm glad I didn't have to follow Chris.
Good morning, everybody. Chris Kaufman, recruiter to the stars, operating out of Vidalia, Georgia, where the onions grow tall. And we work throughout the Southeast United States to find talented players, primarily for restaurants. We do some work in private clubs, finding food and beverage managers and chefs for private clubs. But also restaurants tend to be 80% of our work. And we work, right now, we've got a couple opportunities in Florida. One is a staff accountant position over in Pensacola. Another is a front of the house manager position over in Jensen Beach. And so we are on the hunt along those lines actively today because those are immediate openings. And different companies have different criteria. A lot of companies don't want to pay relocation. Now I've got a company that will welcome the opportunity to pay relocation because they want somebody from a big city. Okay, let's go. Anyway, the work we do, and we've been doing this wonderful profession since Ronald Reagan's first term, which was a golden age, if you will, and it is. Chris Kaufman, CHRIS, Kaufman and Company, providing all-star talent. And you can conveniently remember the telephone number if you can remember the two words all-star. Maybe that's one word, all-star. 404-255-7827. Spells all-star. 404 all-star. Come back, see us. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Howard. I'll follow Chris. That'll be my punishment for missing 2 meetings back to back.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you do it. You're a brave man.
Just want to apologize. I know I missed a couple meetings. One was for personal reasons. I was visiting my family up in New York, so I took Friday off. Obviously, was traveling, so I couldn't get on. And then the other was unfortunately work related. We were pretty slammed, and there was a seminar that we were at, so I unfortunately couldn't attend. So I do want to apologize, and I'll try to follow Chris. I'm glad I ended up doing that. But Carmine, I just want to say it's very cool what you guys do. I work in the insurance industry, especially in the commercial insurance side. So just kind of hearing about what you did was very interesting. I'd love to kind of chat on the side a little bit more and kind of learn with about what you do for restaurants. But I'll go ahead and start my introduction. My name is Baha Errol. I work with the Holmes organization here in Jacksonville, Florida. I hope it's as sunny here or sunny there as it is here for you guys. We have been around since 1989. We deal with any and every commercial insurance needs. I specialize in the restaurant and catering and hospitality industry. From your general liability, commercial property, commercial auto, and workman's compensation needs, we take care of it all. As an agency, we have over 300 years of experience, so we will make sure that no stone is unturned for your commercial insurance needs. A couple ways you can reach me. My personal cell is going to be 585-435-1655. My office phone that also goes to my personal cell is 904-575-4549. And then my email is berrell@homesorg.com. And we do a 2-hour free consultation for anyone that is referred by a member of TRA. So make sure to take advantage of that. That's it for me, guys. Again, my apologies for missing a couple meetings.
No, you survived following Chris. Good job. Ed, good morning.
Good morning. This is Ed Durkin from Seacoast Sales in Orange Park, Florida, which is just outside of Jacksonville. And today we are broadcasting from my mobile office on I-95, about 10 miles south of Brunswick, Georgia, heading back to Jacksonville. So we're a equipment supply company that specializes in frozen dessert equipment. So we have soft serve machines, batch freezers, equipment that will eliminate labor in the back of the house making sauces and creams. We also have display cases, that's Carpet Johnny. We also have display cases for gelato, ice cream, pastry, and grab and go from ESA, TTI Design, and Hippie. And we have ice cream equipment from BGI Enterprises out of Italy. My number is 904-334-4489. Thank you.
Thank you. Tracy, good morning.
Thanks, Howard. I feel like the virtual background's cutting off like half my head today. I don't know. In any event, Baja, don't feel bad. I'm going to be missing 2 weeks over spring break. So I haven't told Howard yet, but my kids will be home. So either they're going to bomb the phone call or I'll be missing.
I think you just told him.
I am Tracy Pumo with Skyline Analytics. We are a full-service business intelligence consulting firm. Specifically, we specialize in data analytics, FP&A consulting, data integration, process automation. We provide fully customized solutions to help middle market companies enhance visibility into their financial data so that they can create, or we can help them create actionable business insights and increase profitability through smarter data-driven decision-making. Basically, we come in and help middle market companies that either don't have a finance group or their finance group is too small to handle their various projects. And we offer support, operational strategic finance support, basically what we do.
And how do we reach you?
Yeah, I can be reached at 561-512-1933.
Okay, thank you. Steve Whitehill, thank you for reconnecting me with Julian.
My pleasure. I'm Steve Whitehill, and if my mouse would work, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about stuff. Yeah, there it is. I'm Steve Whitehill. I own Anchor Business Brokers, and we help people buy and sell businesses. Today, I found a very interesting business to tell everybody about. It's a business in the Tampa Bay area, and it does $10 million in sales and has profit of $6.5 million. You can buy that for $6.25 million. It has it's 6 years old, 10 full-time employees, 55 part-times, 3 managers. And this institution is a dynamic nightclub. And there are 3 locations, and it only goes to show you how lucrative prostitution is. So if you want to have a good business, here's one for you. Steve Whitehill, Anchor Business Brokers. My phone number is 561-376-7500. And you can reach me also at Steve, STEVE, at anchorbb.com.
Thank you.
Steve, we have to get him. We have to get Mr. Red to see him. He can help with this prostitution business.
Yeah, I'm gonna attach that picture when I send out the spreadsheet. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam. Hello, everyone. Terry with today's restaurant news. Nice to see the new faces. Thank you for joining us. What I do actually kind of very unique. I don't sell anything except a report monthly that our group puts together and gives to me on the 1st. I collate, get everything ready to get out to you by the 9th or 10th. And what that is a restaurant leads report. You've seen all over. Every time I got these leads report, you know, it'll cost you $49 a month and we guarantee 6 or 7 brand new leads nationwide. Well, my leads report costs nowhere near that. And it has a minimum, and I can guarantee this, in Florida, a month, 50 at least brand new leads. These leads are up and coming restaurants. They are under construction. They've just signed a lease. You get the owner's name, email address, phone number, about when they're opening, and a little bit about the restaurant, all in an Excel spreadsheet. Steve, better not still be laughing about that prostitution thing. And what we do is I get that ready. That takes all of my time plus, and here nights in the office working pretty late to get it out. And that report, if anybody wants to see it, any of the new faces on the board, we already have a group that gets it. It is, you can email me at Terry, TERRI, at TRNGE USA.com, and I'm happy to send you a sample report. This report will not have email addresses or phone numbers, and it's the report, but you can see the format as I see Carmine writing down. So I appreciate that, and take a look. Now, if you go on to the our website, you will see the price list of that. You can give me a shout out, an email, and ask me about that for the group. A little different. Have a good weekend. I'm going to 50s party, so I have a poodle skirt to get ready for.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Julian, you want to add anything to your intro? You're on, there you go.
I had to unmute, sorry. I apologize for the bad picture quality, first of all. It's, I'm doing a Zoom on my little phone sitting in a corner here at some place. I've been meaning to get on this group for about 3 or 4 weeks and just been too busy. So I thought I'll just do it today as I am. I don't really have anything else to add. We could talk about the products that I have, but I'm sure people understand that a chef uniform is the chef uniform. There's entry level all the way through to top of the range, you know, fine Egyptian cotton product. We do custom embroidery of logos, names, or anything that needs to be added onto any of the uniform items. I've been specialized mainly in chef uniforms, which is more for the back of the house. So I'm well connected with those sort of group of people, but have done many front of house restaurant openings with front of house uniforms for the servers, aprons for the people that need it, etc., etc. The other product that I do, called Fog Tank, is basically a labor saving item. Not only labor, but labor is a big part of it. It saves a huge amount of labor and chemicals and time, water. It actually saves in every aspect of the kitchen. For cleaning pots, pans, sheet pans, hood filters, which is a nightmare for restaurants to clean, and basically any metals in the kitchen. By merely just soaking for a time period in our tank, which is heated up to a temperature of 185 degrees, and it just eats off all the black carbon or the fats or the oils. I can, not today, but at another time, with permission of Howard and the group, put on I'll share my screen with a 2-minute video and show you exactly how simple and easy it is. We've done costing analysis of the tank, and it could easily save between 25 and 30,000 bucks per year on the bottom line, in minimum of, depends, every state is different, but of labor and chemical and water usage. And once again, it's a green-friendly chemical, so it's not aggressive, non-toxic, non-caustic. And at the end of a time period, you just pour it down the drain and off it goes. No problem at all. That's in a nutshell. If anybody has questions, I'm happy to get into more detail. But I think my first appearance with a bad video of me is not doing justice. So I will thank you all for...
Don't kid yourself, Julian. You're not that good looking.
I know. But anyway.
The lighting might be helping you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a hindrance. And you don't see my striped uniform that Howard was mentioning when I first came on. I'm just getting that in the dry cleaners now, being cleaned. You know, the one from prison. So I'm not wearing that one today.
Is that the black one with the logo over?
Yeah, exactly. But I just want people to know prison is really not my bag, and I never really went there. Just Howard and
keep that. That's good. That's going to be worth a lot of money.
One day.
That's vintage.
Could I give the look as well next time? You know. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I've got a lot of people to introduce you to.
Sorry, if I may just add one more thing. I worked with Terry's lists in the past, and they are really good. So I can, give it a 5-star rating or 6-star, basically. So I just thought I'll add that in as well. Thank you very much.
Okay. And Carmine, you want to add anything? What do you want, Terry?
I do.
No,
yeah.
Julian, when he got the list, It's nowhere near as good as it is now. Nothing like it.
Good to hear, because I'll be looking at the list.
Yes,
Yeah,
I-
a couple of things I think I left out. First of all, you can reach me on my mobile at 917-468-3148. Like I mentioned, I'm in Meisner. If anybody ever wants to come by for a live demo of VR, that's really the only way to appreciate it. And there's lots we could do over there as far as having a drink or a bite to eat. And I did kind of leave out an important feature of the platform. The headsets speak directly to a learning management system. So I work with Pixo, Pixo VR under their platform. And so any results, because we gamify and do assessments within the VR modules, any of those results automatically in real time download into a learning management system.
Okay.
That's all I
Maybe
Yeah.
at some point we'll take a page from Steve's book and we'll have a on-site visit. We'll have the
I
meeting
don't have
from
any-
your office.
I don't have any prostitutes working for me at this time.
Too bad.
All right. Well, I thank you for coming, and both of you welcome, and we look forward to having you as regular members.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you all and be here.
Now we're going to go to Brian Auiebach from InfoSync. Brian is he's a member, and he's going to present information about his company so that we understand what he does, so that we can tell our customers and people watching will understand what he does. Brian,
Howard,
good
can you
morning.
let me share the screen, by the way?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay. It's saying host disabled participant screen sharing, so. Anyway, let me know if you fix that, but I'll kind of just jump into it anyway without it. So Brian Auerbach with
No, you can
InfoSync.
do it.
Okay. Perfect. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay, everyone can see my screen now.
Aw,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Excellent. So Brian Auerbach with InfoSync Comprehensive Business Process Solutions. So we are an outsourced provider of accounting or financials, HR, payroll. I'll talk more about that in a second. And then third-party delivery recovery, which I'm sure a lot of you, if you've heard me talk about it, but you may not know what it is. So basically, we do all the work to provide you the data so you can give it over to Tracy and her team at Skyline, and they can actually make sense of the data for business process decisions. So just a little bit more about me. It's just so I don't think a lot of you know this. So I've been with InfoSync. Actually, Wednesday was my 1-year anniversary with the company. Prior to that, I spent about 7 or 8 years with Paycor, which is a payroll processor. I led them into the New York marketplace. I was a bank alliance partner, so I ran their partnership with TD Bank and was also regional vice president down here in South Florida. My degree in undergraduate is marketing management from Siena College in upstate New York, which now that we're getting to presidential election season, people actually start knowing who we are. I've seen it because we do a lot of the polling. My MBA is in entrepreneurial management from Hofstra University. I have about 20 years of sales experience. I'm a former multi-unit franchise owner. I owned all state agencies in good old Atlanta, Marietta, Georgia, and also owned Going Postals, and I have the franchise rights for them in the New York metro area about 15 years ago. So I am big on efficiency, if you can't tell by how quickly I speak. I'm also a board member for Chamber South, which is a chamber of commerce down here in South Miami. I'm an adjunct professor of marketing and social media marketing at Miami-Dade College. And just if I don't have enough stuff to do, I also am the head coach for Florida International University's women's rugby team. So those are my passions and kind of why I do what I do. But the mission of InfoSync, which I think is kind of important, is to be the leading provider of outsourced business solutions through the insight and innovative technologies, the development of people, and delivering excellent customer service. And really what we do is we help multi-unit companies, and 90% of our business is restaurants, we'll go down in a second, is find accounting and payroll frustrating and expensive. What we do is really provide people, process, and technology so they can focus on their core business, right? Running the business, knowing how to do that stuff, not necessarily doing the accounting, general ledger, paying taxes, our payroll, and all that good stuff. We'll take care of that for you so you can focus on running your business. So our whole process is to drive restaurant growth. So you can see on here, really what we want to do is we help companies adapt and scale. So a lot of times, especially in that franchise model, you see people that start with 1 store, they go to 2, then 4, then 8, then they start doubling to 16 to 32 and so on and so forth. And that's really when the scalability starts to become a problem, right? Your local accountant may not be able to handle some of this stuff. Your payroll person may be a little bit outmatched by this. This is a perfect opportunity for us to come in. At the same time, we have companies that start splitting off. They get to 100, 200 locations. You know, one brother gets this side, one sister gets this side of the business, and we kind of can take over from there and kind of when these businesses split in half or whatever the upside or downside of it is, and kind of take over and keep the business running efficiently for those folks. So our 3 core areas that we focus on are finance and accounting. So literally we become your accounting department all the way up to the controller level, not the CFO level. So we're not making the strategic decisions. Really going to focus on give you that more of that information. We're going to do the process. So we would say we focus on the tactical work so you can focus on the strategic work. And then really that data stuff that Tracy and her team over at Skyline can really take that data powerful for you to help you make business decisions out of it. Not that we won't consult with you on it, but it's, you know, her team does a little bit better than that and more of the CFO level service. On the payroll side, we put UKG Pro in. We are UKG's largest reseller. So we have about 170,000 lives that we pay every week on UKG. So we become your whole payroll department, so you don't have to worry about that. We don't do the actual HR function, but we put the HR technology in place, the payroll, and we actually process payroll for you. And we integrate into your systems, whether it be POS, back of house, any other systems that you need us to connect with. We connect that data so you have real-time data analytics, and that data is flowing. And third-party delivery recovery is our newest product, which actually came out of our finance and accounting team. So anyone that's ordering from Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Grubhub that's ever had an order come incorrectly or missing or not come at all, well, those orders, when you complain about that, automatically go against the restaurant, whether it's their fault or not. So we act actually as a collections agency model, and it's a contingency model where we go back after Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub to get those restaurants their money back. So a lot of times if someone says the drink, you know, I never got my drink, the restaurant probably put that drink out, whether the driver didn't pick it up, whether the driver drank it, delivered to the wrong house or whatnot, or made, however, the customer could just not be telling the truth. We'll go back and get that money back for the restaurant. That's actually been on delivery charges, is about 3% have delivery disputes. So if you're doing $1 million a year, it's about $30,000 in lost revenue. And in tight margins, this can be a lot of money. So we charge a percentage of recovered monies on this, depending on the franchise model. So I'm not going to say what our fees are for that. Just reach out to me if you have any questions on that. We are servicing about 11,000 locations with this service and also with our finance and accounting and payroll services as well. So we'll cost really about 110 brands at this point. So it's not 90 brands. But to dig into a little bit more, what we are doing here is we really are. So as the orders come in, we are fighting these orders, disputing them. And it just takes a lot of time off from the restaurants. You only have a certain amount of time to go back and fight this. So with DoorDash, you have 14 days, Uber Eats and Grubhub 30 days. So if you rely on your general managers or local managers, or if you have to do it, are you doing regularly? And for most part, we find most companies just aren't. They just don't have the time of day. Someone comes in late, something happens. We've all been there, right? And why they want to, it's, listen, trying to dispute a $5 order and spending 20 minutes for it isn't worth their time. But we have the systems and process in place to do that. So it is worth our time to do it for you. And so it's a true outsource model, just like our accounting and finance model and also our payroll model. We provide you reports every month with what we disputed, what we won. And that kind of creates the chargeback fees as well. And then we provide you a report breaking it down via aggregator, which is Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and the stores or locations you have. And we will go through that report with you. And that's how we charge for the service. So what I'll say here, because I'm wrapping up towards the end here, I'm Brian Auerbach with InfoSync Services. My email is brian, brian.auerbach, AUERBACH @issvc.com. And you can always reach me on my cell phone at 786-670-1027. So that is all I have for you all today. And I don't know if we open up to questions or not, but that's what I got.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Any questions for Brian? You know, thank you, Ryan, for the presentation, and it just really proves, you know, when you do a one-on-one with somebody in the group, you get to find out things that you wouldn't ordinarily know. I never would have taken Brian as a rugby coach.
Well, if you saw before, I actually had a splint on my finger because I stabbed my finger on a on a ball the other day. So
Hey, Brian, they have that, is McKeeb's Bar still at Hofstra?
No, I think that's closed.
I grew up not too far from there. I know that was a popular place for the Hofstra
Yeah,
kids.
there are a couple of those bars right there, and yeah, one of them actually became a Chipotle restaurant, and I was kind of like, I can't go in there. And they're like, why? Where the kitchen is? I mean,
You're not allowed. Banned.
So,
Brian,
yes, sir.
do you find a difference in problems with Grubhub versus Uber delivery, or is there one of those that's a little Postmates or that's
Yeah,
a
so
little more?
Postmates is Uber Eats now. So Grubhub is the least volume of all three of those. We also do Skip the Dishes, which is what Grubhub calls itself in Canada. As well, so we do this in the US and in Canada. But DoorDash is the number one in volume, at least on the East Coast, and some most actually in New York, Uber Eats is kind of like a little bit bigger at this point. But DoorDash is probably the biggest. Uber Eats is the second. And also that's kind of how it goes in the recovery as well. So the most comes from DoorDash, the second most percentage-wise comes from Uber Eats. That's not just sales volume, it's also recovery volume as well. And then Grubhub, so the part of it as well, it's kind of going to answer it along about. Grubhub does their dispute services on their side manually. I don't know if you've noticed that Grubhub laid off about a quarter of its workforce. So this is one of the areas they laid people off from. So they'll get to it when they get to it. And we've noticed the delays going from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days. So, but that's just part of their process. Uber Eats and DoorDash both use artificial intelligence to do the disputes. And most of our competitors that do this service do use AI. And if anyone's familiar with AI, which it sounds like Carmine is, AI knows when it talks to AI, right? And I can tell you from teaching college, when my students give me a report, we have a system called Turn It On, and it goes right into the system and tells me how much of the report was done by AI. So, and then same thing, when AI knows it's talking to AI, it automatically rejects. So we have a much higher recovery rate than our competitors because of that.
Do one of these companies pump up the prices higher than others? Because when one of our presentations about a year ago, there was a guy in this group who said that if DoorDash wants to charge you $24 for what the restaurant's offering for $18, DoorDash could charge you $24. Is that still legal, or that's still?
So there's a lot of legality about this going on. There's a and most people that sign agreements with DoorDash and they've tried to sue them, they are actually going to arbitration because that's part of their contract with them. But a lot of times, like I've heard from restaurateurs that we work with, not so much in the franchise world because their pricing is kind of set, depending on the geography and obviously what they're selling. But in the independent chain, like they have people that come in and will spot check to make sure that if you're selling fries online for $9.99, they better be $9.99 in the store. So Chris had a call, so
I was just curious. I'm sure either you or Tracy might have done this, but has there ever been? It's a silly question, but I'm good at that. Has there been a study of how much it costs a restaurant to have their own delivery drivers compared to using the organized delivery services?
I think there has been, but it's also going to vary on locale, right? There's a lot of variables that go into that. What kind of vehicles? Like, for instance, Domino's doesn't use third-party delivery; they use their own service. So
Right.
we don't do this for any Domino's. We have Domino's clients in the finance and accounting and payroll side, but not on this side because they don't do third-party delivery. They do first-party delivery. And they actually, I don't know if people are aware, Domino's has the largest fleet in the country of electric vehicles. So that's part of it. On the other side of it, though, like DoorDash does provide something called DoorDash Drive, which allows you to turn off other drivers and only allow your drivers to do the service for you. So it's very big in more of the pizza kind of concepts and stuff like that. Or in rural areas as well, where there just aren't, I have some clients that are up in like the Thousand Lakes areas up in New York, and same area in like Minnesota, there just aren't a lot of drivers. So sometimes during the summer months, these the restaurants will turn on the DoorDash Drive, so they'll just do deliveries themselves.
You know, when I said that I might ask a silly question. That's one of the things I learned in college, that there's no question that's silly, because even if it is silly and obvious, it might spur an idea with somebody else in the group and bring out a great point. So forgive me. But anybody else have any questions for Brian?
Doing any of the recovery services outside the restaurant industry, or just?
We can, just it hasn't been as much. And so, we're actually talking to 7-Elevens this week. I was at a conference, and they basically said we don't really get much, because it's kind of like the carton of milk either shows up or it doesn't show up, right? It's a little bit different than a customized order, so to speak. But a lot of times they just deal with that at the store manager level. So right now we haven't. I don't think it's something we couldn't handle. It's just something really no one's kind of came to us and said we need this. Although we have talked to a bunch of some of the chains that may have multiple, gas stations that have the 2 or 3 different restaurants inside of them. But they tend to operate their restaurants in different silos as well from a revenue standpoint.
Well, I thank you very much, Brian, for the presentation. It brought up some points that I wasn't aware of, and that's the whole idea. So if anybody else would like to schedule themselves for a presentation, please let me know, and we'll get it scheduled. We got a couple of minutes left for the meeting, and so I'm going to pick a small request that I got this week. A lot of you know I spend a lot of time online and spend a lot of time with different groups in the restaurant industry. This was a request that somebody made online, and I'm just going to repeat it. And if you have any thoughts, and that's one thing this group is not shy to do, is give opinions. So let it rip. All right. A friend of mine has been running her cafe for over 5 years. She has a lot of employee turnover and ends up having to run the business, manage, train, and cook. Any advice on how she can scale and be able to take off once in a while? This is perfect for restaurant rescue.
Well, we can certainly take the minutia of the finance and accounting piece and the payroll side out of it. It can help you. And I'm sure if I'm going to spin over to Tracy, I'm sure her team can basically give you the analytics to see what time of the year you're busy, not busy, what your cost of goods are, and kind of take that data and help you basically plan out a time that you can actually scale growth and take some time off.
Well, it sounds like she can't keep employees. So is she paying enough money? Is she treating them like crap? There's all sorts of things that go into that.
And she might be micromanaging.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's got everything on her plate.
Yeah. You don't know. I mean, she may be only wanting to pay people $7 an hour right now, and that's not going to work in today's environment.
That brings up another point. What's going to happen, like in California, when they raise the minimum wage to $20? What's going to happen to pricing, like in McDonald's and Wendy's and all of those fast food chains?
Everyone's going to start selling bread independently, so they don't have to adhere to the minimum wage pricing.
Well, that price adjustment's already happened. There's been a lot of content already about the price of. I just saw one yesterday about Five Guys, $24.
Yeah. I read that.
For a burger, fries, and a drink.
Yeah, somebody gave us a gift certificate to Five Guys for $25.
Yeah, right on the mark.
I got to go by myself.
It was $30. Insane.
I know. I went to McDonald's the other day. I said, I'll take a Big Mac. And they said, nothing else. I said, no, I've only got $40. I apologize. That was an emergency call I had to take, guys. I'm trying to help this kid get into Job Corps and get off the streets. And that was Job Corps calling, and we're trying to make this happen. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't know that you left.
yeah.
So what do you do? What do you tell a micromanager, who's losing employees left and right and doing all of the work in the restaurant? I mean, we all know somebody like that.
It's in almost any business, right? When you're starting it up, you're doing everything from soups to nuts until you're willing to take a little cut in revenue and start hiring people to help you.
Exactly.
Right.
That will result in more revenue if it's done right.
Exactly. Correct.
Okay. I think we're at the end of the meeting. So I want to thank everybody for coming. One thing I forgot to do was introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News. And we started in 1996. And we're here to help any restaurant owner, manager, or chef who's got a problem. And we welcome any new members that would like to come. If they want to, give us a call at 561-620-8888. Go to our website at trnusa.com. And if you want to show this video to anybody, go to our YouTube channel under Today's Restaurant. Julian, thank you for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
And Carmine, he drops off the board shortly. So thank you for coming and welcome. And we'll see you all next week. As I said earlier, unless there's an objection, we're going to do the joint meeting on the 29th of March. Is that all right, Chris?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Just a minute. Hold my calls. No, 29th.
That'll be the 29th at 10 a.m., which is different, but you'll all get notified of that. So I want to thank you all for coming. Have a great weekend. And
Daylight saving time. Daylight saving time.
This weekend?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spring forward.
Let the soul be with you.
You
It
will be
is.
casting